What is going on, guys? GregglesTV. This is the Razer Phone 2, and it's marketed as a gaming phone, but it can really be used for any kind of use if you want it to, because it has a lot of the same specs that you would see in other modern day phones, such as a Snapdragon 845, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage, but you can add an SD card, and that SD card can turn into internal storage. So I have 128 gig internal storage in there for SD card, and it maximizes it out to almost 200 gigabytes of storage that I can use to put apps, games, music, movies, really anything that I want. They've also added IP67 dust and water resistance, wireless charging capabilities. There is no headphone jack, so you have to use the USB Type-C headphones or Bluetooth or the dongle that goes into the USB Type-C and plug in headphones that way. Now, the performance of this phone is excellent. It's definitely one of the best performing phones I have ever used. It's very, very smooth, very, very buttery, very fast. Whatever you want to think of in terms of smoothness, it does that and takes it to another level. It's a great performer. Have it be just running around the operating system, navigating through the settings, whatever you're doing, it works really, really well. Also, like I said earlier in this video, it's a gaming powerhouse. It performs games like no other, getting great frame rates, have it be on games like PUBG, which is a very graphical intensive game, or maybe a game like Fortnite, which is very popular with the kids right now, one of the most popular games. And again, it plays that game beautifully, and you have no stuttering, no lag, just incredible performance with the game itself. Another great thing about this phone is the speakers. You get two massive stereo speakers on the front of this phone, and it might take away from the look of the phone, but the speakers are massive, they're loud, they're bassy, and they're some of the best speakers I have heard on a phone. The only caveat I would say with these speakers, thing to be thinking about, is that when they're at their top volume, to me, they sound a little bit staticky, just a slight static to it. So I'd probably play it at one notch below when I'm doing that volume, but it does have Dolby Atmos built into the software, so you can maximize the sound. You know, have it be listening to music or movies or gaming or whatever you're doing, you can get great sound. It's awesome speakers, one of the best speakers, like I said, on any phone. Now let's talk about some things that are kind of in the middle for me in terms of they're not that great, they're not that bad, and that is, first off, the screen. So one of the cool things about this screen is it is 120 hertz refresh rate, so you're gonna get ultra smooth performance on the screen, and it's gonna look really, really smooth, have it be with gaming or apps or whatever you're doing. It's gonna be very, very smooth, because on other phones, it's 60 hertz. So you're doubling that up for this phone, which is great to see. The one issue I really have about this phone, it's an LCD display. I've been so used to using AMOLED displays on, say, the Galaxy Note 9 or the Pixel 3 or some other phone that uses an AMOLED display where those colors are really rich and deep. These are a little bit, washed, a little bit faded out, and that's really the only issue I had with the display, is that, the colors just aren't as rich as the AMOLED displays. Also, the 120 hertz refresh rate on there, some tech reviewers are saying, oh my God, it's the second coming of God, and it's really not. If you play with a phone that's really, really smooth, have it be a Note 9 or a OnePlus 6 or a Pixel 3 or some other phone like that, those phones are just as smooth, and I honestly don't see much difference with those refresh rates between the phones. The next place I'm kind of in the middle with this phone is the design. So the issue I have with it is that the design feels old. It's 16:9, and it feels kind of just fat and short, even though 16:9 is kind of the norm, or at least it was a few years ago. And now we're into 18:9 or 19:9 aspect ratios like almost every other phone. So these phones that are released today, like the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, is tall and skinny, so it's a little bit easier to hold in your hand, a little bit more comfortable now, but it might be harder to reach when you reach the top of the screen. The Razer Phone 2, again, 16:9, so short and fat. It just feels old-fashioned to me. I do like the changing chroma on the back here that can basically be changed to any color that you want. I think that's freaking amazing. That's really, really cool. It's a nice glass design. It is a fingerprint magnet. The buttons on the side, I don't love where they are. The buttons are on the left and on the right, so you have your volume buttons kind of in the middle, slightly below maybe even. And then the fingerprint sensor power button is on the side here, which is kind of a cool idea, but at the same time, you have to get kind of used to it because most phones either have it on the back or at the bottom of the phone, or even now, sometimes you see it on the screen itself to unlock the phone. So again, it's kind of just its own niche in that regard. Next up would be the cameras. The cameras are definitely not the worst cameras I've ever used, and they're definitely not the best either. They kind of just get the job done. I wouldn't recommend the cameras to somebody that loves to take photos and loves to take video because they just do an okay job at that. When you compare it to other phones, you kind of just like, it's okay. It's not amazing. It's not gonna blow anybody away. I did a comparison video where I compared this phone versus the Pixel 3 XL versus the Galaxy Note 9, and I did like the audio that was recorded with the microphones on this phone, but overall, the quality of the video and the photos just didn't completely hold up with those other two phones. So that leads us to, should you buy, try, don't buy this phone? It's gonna lead you to, are you a gamer? Are you someone that wants a very great performing phone that maybe doesn't take photos all the time, but maybe wants some of the latest technology in terms of quick charge 4.0 charging, which is gonna charge your phone very fast, that this phone has, that a lot of other phones still don't have. You're gonna get a 120 hertz display that's gonna maybe impress you, maybe not. It doesn't totally impress me in terms of that motion. It's a niche gaming phone, and it's hard to recommend this to just everybody. So I think they market it correctly when they're saying it's a gamer's phone or it's a gaming phone, because I think they're closing themselves off to a lot of the market, but at the same time, they're saying, hey, this phone's for you guys and really nobody else. And I think that's the perfect person it's for, is the person that is a gamer that wants a reasonably good looking display, great sounding speakers, great performance, an okay camera, wireless charging, water resistance. That's who this phone is for. If you want to pick it up, I'll link it down below. It goes for $799. And I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys down the road. Peace!